So right now is the absolute most auspicious time to be alive ever. At least if you're like into it from the standpoint of awakening, right? There's so much cosmic energy rushing into the earth right now that to not have a spontaneous like Kundalini awakening experience, you have to be just doing something along the lines of like masturbating all the time, stealing, participating in evil, just distraction, without all of these things, constantly discharging your energy, constantly like destroying your accumulation of virtue, like sort of these anti-qigong practices. There's so much like awakening force, like consciousness happening right now that you have to look at the mechanisms that are in place that distract people from it and cause it to sort of like bleed out. And if you want to, that's the farming of the loosh and the life force and everything that this system is doing, right? Normally, at most points in history, if you want to become like enlightened or reach God or whatever, like you have to like focus so hard and get in your cave and like do your thing and like try and see through you, right? It's just so hard. But like right now, all of that energy that normally you would have to accumulate is being given to you, because this is the time that God is returning or Christ is returning. It's happening right now, and what you see is that people don't want that. People don't want the enlightenment. They reject God. They spit on God. And so therefore, it's just constant masturbating, discharging of energy, getting online and like feeling prideful, judging others, like all the different like psychological foibles that prevent enlightenment are amplified 1,000-fold on social media. And then there's nothing but like sort of discharge practices. Like most of the guys that have most of the energy right now, like the porn crisis or whatever, is that think of that they're having to do that. Like civilization as a whole is having to leak out all of that loosh in the drama and just being distracted in fantasy and distraction from it. It's industrial scale distraction to prevent theosis, to prevent enlightenment, to prevent whatever it is that when yogis or Buddhists or I just when anybody goes, I've cultivated enough chi, I've cultivated enough virtue, I have this energy, right? It's the same thing with people. Like if you do drugs, they give you energy, they give you extra energy, right? What is happening now is there's so much energy coming in that to prevent mass spontaneous enlightenment. Look at how drastic the measures are. They're having to create like hyper modular, like sort of AI sex chatbots, and like implanting the distraction directly into people's heads. And without that, people would have a spontaneous unification with God. Like heaven and earth are bridging right now. All the solar energy and stuff the last couple days. Insane amount of stuff. You have to be actively doing so much. You have to actively be doing so much to prevent theosis, to prevent enlightenment, because that's the time that we live in. And if you stop doing all of those things so aggressively, like you have to be doing stuff aggressively right now to not like be pushed up towards ascension or whatever the terminology is, right? And then because the push, like God is pushing so hard and like wanting so hard that you'll see that the distractions and the way people have to escape that presence are going to get more and more extreme, more and more smart. And then that's how you see the evolution of the material world, is the ways in which people block out God, right? So if the more God is present, the more the people who are running will build elaborate artifices to not see that. And it's like that in any moment. This is the eschaton. This is the eschaton. But I mean, you look at the sort of the vice and the pathology that you see in civilization, just the mental and psychological perversion and the isolation, sort of the enlightenment, I mean, like in the Buddhist sense. Right? Like it's wanting, the spontaneous awakening is wanting to happen so badly right now. And it is right there that the people are having to discharge an absurd amount of energy. Like protesting, anger at other people, like just that thing, all of that is discharging energy. And if the energy builds up, you eventually become full, and you are enlightened, you're full, you have theosis. Right? So that energy is constantly going in. It's literally, theosis is constantly entering you, and to hold it off, you have to be like bailing the ship out, right? It's like and from the inverted standpoint, it's like the ship is sinking, right? The ship is constantly sinking.